So why do we have to talk about pornography? I mean, why is it such a big deal? And why is it so hard to talk about it, especially in South Africa, when we have such dire consequences and criminal circumstances that are beyond understanding sometimes? We have babies being trafficked, we have women facing severe gender-based violence in South Africa, we have sexual abuse of all kinds. It's overwhelming. So that in South Africa, we have some of the highest stats in the world in terms of sexual crime, and yet we are avoiding this issue of pornography, which has been proven time and time again to be the root cause of most sexual exploitation today. And you might wonder why. Why is it that pornography is being blamed for so much sexual crime today and sexual abuse and sexual dysfunction? Well, it's very simple. It's a public health crisis. It literally changes people. It changes them physiologically, psychologically, sexually. It has the power to change someone. And we can look at all the stats, and I really want to encourage you to take a look at our online course designed for caregivers, parents, grandparents, educators, pastors, but really is over 90 minutes of information, research, data, and interviews with local people who are seeing the effects of pornography on the lives of real people every single day, that are working with young children addicted to internet pornography. I think it really has to hit home for us. And I know that we have a lot to deal with in South Africa. I know that we have a lot of other issues, but this issue is important. This issue is very important. And you might ask yourself still, why? Isn't it merely entertainment? Well, if 88% of it is depicting violence against women, and a lot of the abuse portrayed in pornography is sexual violence, then yes, we do have a problem, because this is not only accessible, available, anonymous, but it's also very affordable. And when we are looking at the setup of the internet now, how easy it is for young children to come across that content is a reality, and it's a devastating reality. We need to prepare our children, because that is protecting them. We need to create and build a resilience in them to survive this digital age, for them to not only survive but to thrive as digital citizens and responsible digital citizens. They're the type of content out there that you would never even dream of. I mean, there's not a lot of parents who would drop their children off in a dark alley at midnight, yet there's so many parents giving cell phones and devices to young children with no filter or blockers or protection, to a world, and I mean a world, of sexual violence. To give a child a digital device with no protection on it, it would literally be like dropping your child off in a dark alley at midnight. Another reason for this concern is that children have a developing brain, which means that they develop very differently to adults. They experience things very differently to adults. Say, for instance, someone says something rude to me and my feelings are hurt, I may be offended, I come home and I tell my husband about it. And I'm speaking to him about this experience, right? As an adult, a fully grown adult, I experienced something and I had a reaction to it, and my reaction was to tell my husband. Now, a child would experience something, and often, because they're still developing in so many areas, they're still processing that information and that content, and they may not have an immediate reaction. So as they're seeing something, they are digesting it, processing it. It can literally submarine and only come up in puberty. And this is something that we have seen over and over and over again, is young people who are manifesting in puberty. When I say manifesting, I mean they are having their first girlfriend or first boyfriend and acting out in ways of sexual violence. And then when asked about it, it will come out that the narrative of their behavior has really been portrayed in the pornography that they've been exposed to, perhaps for a couple of years. So it's very, very, very important to understand that if your child is maybe 4 or 5, it's still important to start now protecting them and start now with conversations that will protect them in the future. We don't have the privilege to sit back and wait for them to ask questions anymore. We don't have the privilege to be so relaxed about this issue. Pornography has been declared a public health crisis by over a dozen states in America right now as I'm talking to you, and it's spreading. The awareness about the harmful effects of pornography is an issue that every continent at the moment is taking note of. Every government is taking note of. Perhaps there is different levels of processing on how to engage with this and how to react to this, because as you well know, pornography is a very popular form of entertainment. But unfortunately, our children again are taking the brunt for what adults could only consider as entertainment. Our children are being traumatized. Our children are being violated. They are being sexually violated when they are exposed to this content. I really want to encourage you today that if you are a caregiver, if you're a grandparent, a parent, an educator, a pastor, please consider, if you're a community leader, consider accessing Parent Talk, the unspoken epidemic of children and pornography, and educate yourself, empower yourself to really protect children today. In the digital age, child protection has changed. I encourage you again, get hold of this course, share it with your friends, your community, your loved ones. Let us hold hands and let us pull together in this time, in this digital age. It is up to us as adults to protect children. We are committed to this cause. At the Center Against Sexual Exploitation in South Africa, we are passionate about protecting children. We are very committed to educating and empowering caregivers to protect children. Please contact us if you have any questions. And I really do hope that you will check out Parent Talk, the unspoken epidemic of children and pornography, an online course.